There are moments in life when you start to question whether the person in front of you is truly meant to be in your life. And this isn't just about romantic relationships. It applies to any meaningful bond, friendships, business partnerships, mentorships, or those chance encounters that feel perfectly timed. But how do you know if someone is genuinely aligned with your path? Carl Jung spent much of his life exploring the unconscious mind and how it shapes our interactions. To him, nothing that happens in our lives is purely by chance. The people who enter our world usually reflect internal processes we haven't yet fully understood. Have you ever felt a deep, unexplainable connection with someone? Maybe it defies logic, yet their energy, presence, or way of being resonates with you in an almost mystical way. Jung would call this a moment of synchronicity, a point where your inner world and outer reality converge. It's as if the universe is signaling that this person plays a meaningful role in your journey. But how can you tell the difference between a genuine connection and a passing illusion? This is where understanding the unconscious becomes crucial. Jung believed that our relationships mirror our internal state. If you're often surrounded by people who drain you, challenge you in harmful ways, or make you feel inadequate, it's likely not random. It's an invitation to look inward, to examine what within you might be drawing in or allowing these patterns. When someone is truly right for you, there won't be an ongoing struggle between who you are and who you feel you must become. Real connection doesn't ask you to compromise your core self. You won't feel the urge to hide parts of who you are, pretend, or force a bond that doesn't come naturally. Instead, that person will help you feel understood, accepted, and valued. Not because they idealize you, but because their presence reflects your own self-connection. Jung spoke of individuation, the process of becoming your true self, beyond roles and societal expectations. As you walk this path, you'll start recognizing those who align with your truth. Not because they magically appear, but because you've developed the clarity to see them and the strength to release what no longer serves you. Consider how many times you've held on to relationships that you knew, deep down, were not good. And for you, the ones filled with conflict, where affection had to be earned, and being yourself felt like a burden. That doesn't necessarily mean the other person was harmful or that you were at fault. It may simply point to a misalignment, a disconnect between who you are and what that relationship requires of you. Before we go further, I want to share that my book is now available. It offers practical tools and guidance to help you break through emotional barriers and develop self-love. You'll find the link in the description and pinned comment. Let's continue. Jung emphasized that the unconscious always seeks balance. If you constantly pursue relationships that leave you depleted, eventually your mind and body will respond. You may feel anxious, exhausted, or unmotivated. Physical symptoms might arise: insomnia, random aches, or ongoing fatigue. These are your inner signals calling for change. That's why, when someone truly fits into your life, you'll feel it. Not because the relationship is flawless, but because it doesn't feel like a constant battle. You'll experience something deeper, a sense of peace and ease, a bond that allows you to be yourself. Jung considered harmony essential for emotional well-being, but he also believed that true connection happens when souls recognize each other. While that may sound mystical, it aligns with human experience. Throughout life, we gather memories, wounds, and insights, often without awareness. And we look for others who help us grow, who stir something meaningful in us. If someone enters your life and sparks expansion, if their presence encourages you to be more of who you are rather than shrink to fit, this is a sign of real connection. Still, not every meaningful bond is meant to last forever. Some people are here only for a season, but their impact lingers. On the other hand, if you're caught in relationships where you constantly feel the need to prove your worth, or where fear of rejection drives your behavior, it's time to ask, What inside me still needs healing? Are your relationships driven by self-love or by the fear of being alone? Jung believed loneliness isn't something to fear, it's a sacred space where you meet your true self. When you learn to be content in your own company, you stop looking for someone to fill your emptiness. And it's often in that space, when you're no longer searching for someone to complete you, that the most authentic relationships appear. The secret isn't about finding the perfect partner, it's about becoming the most genuine version of yourself. When you do that, the right people naturally find their way into your life. You won't need to chase love or prove your worth. You'll simply be, and that will be enough. If you've ever felt that someone showed up at the right moment, bringing clarity, calm, or even the challenge you needed to grow, don't dismiss it. Life is filled with synchronicities and subtle messages if we learn to pay attention. But the real work lies in self-reflection. Understanding your own patterns, identifying what you seek in relationships, and having the courage to release what no longer aligns with your journey. Jung taught that the reality we experience mirrors our inner world. If you want to attract the right person, you must first be that person, for yourself. Our relationships are not random. Jung saw them as reflections of internal dynamics and aspects of ourselves waiting to be understood. If you repeatedly find yourself in relationships that leave you anxious, insecure, or drained, it's time to ask, what in me is drawing this? This isn't about fate or magic, it's about inner reflection. If deep down you feel unworthy, you may engage with people who affirm that belief, not out of malice, but because the unconscious seeks confirmation of what it already accepts as true. The first step in changing these patterns is awareness. Once you recognize how your inner world shapes your relationships, you reclaim your power. You no longer look to others to fill a void. You bring fullness to the connection, and the energy you give out is reflected back to you. So ask yourself, am I choosing love from a place of wholeness or fear? Your answer will shape every connection you form from now on. Jung explained this through the idea of projection. When we're unaware of parts of ourselves, we project them onto others, seeing in them what actually exists within us. Maybe you've been in a relationship where you felt invisible or taken for granted. It hurts, but if you step back and look honestly, you might ask, am I seeing a reflection of how I treat myself? Do I truly value who I am? The unconscious speaks in subtle, yet purposeful ways. It reveals what we still need to face. If you've experienced abandonment or felt you had to earn love, it could be that part of you still fears rejection. Perhaps you learned early on that love had to be fought for. But when someone is truly right for you, that struggle fades. You won't have to prove your value, loyalty, or love. The connection will unfold naturally, free of silent competition or emotional bargaining. It will be a relationship where both individuals are seen, supported, and encouraged to grow. To reach that point, though, you must examine your patterns. What types of relationships have you consistently attracted? Do the same issues keep appearing? If they do, it's not because you're stuck or cursed. It's because your unconscious is trying to show you something you haven't yet acknowledged. Jung stressed the need to bring the unconscious into consciousness. Otherwise, it continues to direct your life, and you'll call it fate. Imagine standing before two doors. One is familiar, the path you've always taken. The other is unfamiliar, filled with uncertainty, but also possibility. Most people choose the known, even if it brings discomfort, because it feels safe. The fear of change is one of the greatest human barriers. But if you want something different, something peaceful and fulfilling, you must choose differently. You can't wait for life to improve while continuing the same patterns. If there are parts of you that resist love, you must face them. Jung would say, to attract a meaningful relationship, become the version of yourself that aligns with it. That requires introspection, honesty, and the courage to face your shadows, the parts that keep repeating old stories. Take a moment to reflect. Think about the relationships that shaped you. Notice the recurring themes. What are they trying to teach you? Because here's the truth. No one else can heal or complete you. Only you can give yourself what you've been looking for in others. When the right person enters your life, their presence won't bring chaos. They won't create unnecessary suffering. Instead, they will support your growth without diminishing who you are. They'll respect your essence and encourage your expansion, not your contraction. But to recognize that kind of connection, you must first be sure you're not still choosing out of fear, emptiness, or a need for validation. Jung reminded us that the journey to real love doesn't start with others. It begins within. The quality of our relationships directly reflects the relationship we have with ourselves. When we truly know and accept who we are, the right connections appear naturally, without any need to force them. So if you've ever wondered, how do I know if someone is the right one? Start by asking an even more important question. Am I the right one for myself? Only from a place of authenticity and inner clarity can you recognize in others what truly aligns with you. Many people misunderstand relationships. They are not meant to fill emotional gaps. Instead, they act as mirrors, reflecting what we carry inside. Carl Jung said everything we experience externally originates from our inner world. So if you want to know if someone is right for you, the first question is, what am I really looking for? Maybe you've met someone at the perfect time, someone who seemed to have all the answers, whose presence brought calm. But over time, things shifted. You began to notice behaviors that didn't match your initial impression. A subtle discomfort arose, a sense that something was off. Still, you ignored it because you didn't want to lose the connection. At that point, your intuition was trying to guide you. The question is, were you listening? Jung emphasized intuition as a powerful guide from the unconscious. The rational mind can deceive you. It can justify what shouldn't be justified and find reasons to hold on to what's harmful. But intuition is that inner voice that doesn't need logic to know the truth. It never lies. If you feel uneasy or notice subtle signs something is wrong, pay attention. Don't dismiss these feelings just because you wish things were different. When someone is truly right for you, their presence doesn't cause constant inner conflict. You don't feel pressured to change who you are to be accepted, nor do you walk on eggshells to avoid problems. One of the clearest signs someone is aligned with you is a deep sense of peace. This is where many get confused. They believe that intense relationships filled with emotional highs and lows, drama and turmoil are the ultimate proof of love. But intensity is not the same as true connection. Genuine connection shows us peace, mutual respect, and freedom within the relationship. Look back on your life. You likely remember times when you ignored your intuition. There were people who showed clear signs from the start that they weren't right for you, yet you held on. Why? Because fear of being alone, the desire to be loved, and the need to belong can cloud your judgment. Jung would say, this is the unconscious, repeating patterns, trying to heal old wounds through new relationships. Have you noticed how certain people come into your life during big changes? It's not a coincidence. Jung called this synchronicity, the universe aligning to give us what we need at each moment. But synchronicity doesn't always bring what we want. It brings what we need to grow. Sometimes these people aren't the romantic right one, but mirrors showing what we still need to heal within ourselves. That's why, before asking if someone is right for you, ask, what is this person reflecting back to me? If they push you to grow, face fears, and become more authentic without betraying yourself, then that connection has a positive purpose. But if you feel drained, in constant conflict, doubtful, or anxious, it's a clear sign this person isn't aligned with your true self. Jung teaches that life offers experiences for our growth. It's up to us to recognize the signs and decide, from awareness, not fear. If you feel like you're chasing someone, always putting in all the effort to keep the relationship going in circles without progress, ask yourself, am I choosing this connection from love or from need? True love doesn't require endless effort or sacrifices that cost your identity. Someone truly aligned with you won't make you question your worth or force you to choose between being yourself and being loved. Authentic love is not a battle or a puzzle to solve. It's not a game where you have to calculate every move. Authentic love simply is. It's free, clear, and honest. If you've ever felt that peace with someone, the feeling you can fully be yourself without fear or pressure to abandon your dreams or values, then you've experienced what Jung would call a connection aligned with your deepest self. It's not about dependency or filling a void. It's sharing the journey with someone who resonates with your true energy. But to reach that place, you must ask yourself, am I willing to let go of what isn't meant for me? Many say they want to find the right person, yet cling to those who clearly aren't right. They justify, convince themselves things will improve, or that the other just needs to understand them better. In doing so, they lose years, holding on to relationships that stunt growth. Jung reminds us nothing grows in barren soil. If you keep nourishing painful relationships, you only perpetuate the cycle. But when you choose yourself, let go of what blocks your authenticity and risk being alone rather than settling for less, something incredible happens. The right people begin to show up, not by magic or coincidence, but because you now vibrate at a different frequency. You attract those truly aligned with you. If you're wondering whether someone is right for you, pause and listen. Don't focus on fear of losing them or being alone. Don't imagine what could have been. Instead, ask, does this person bring me peace? Do I feel free with them? Do they inspire me to grow? Or do I feel drained, always needing to fight, just to keep the relationship alive? Love is not a battlefield. It shouldn't feel like daily struggle to be seen, loved, or valued. When someone is truly right for you, you'll know, not because your mind approves after analysis, but because your soul feels it. It will be a quiet certainty that settles in your heart without needing explanation. You won't feel indebted or insecure, nor will you have to perform emotional tricks to maintain the connection. It will simply flow. Most importantly, you will feel more yourself than ever before. Carl Jung taught that true love isn't about possession or dependence. It's about connection, shared growth, and respect for each other's individuality. The right person won't ask you to sacrifice your dreams or change your essence to fit their world. Instead, they uplift and challenge you in healthy ways, walking beside you without fear of abandonment. In a meaningful relationship, there are no power struggles or constant fights for attention. Instead, there is presence, a steady, unwavering presence. There is trust, a deep sense of belonging, and an unspoken understanding that you are valued just as you are. But here's an essential point. The right person can only enter your life after you've done the inner work to recognize them. If you remain stuck in toxic patterns, afraid to be alone, or searching for love from a place of emptiness, you will likely attract relationships that reinforce those fears. Life doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you're ready to hold emotionally. The most profound truth about love is this. The healthier your relationship with yourself, the clearer it becomes who is right for you. When you stop seeking someone to complete you and focus instead on becoming whole, you attract relationships based on real connection, not need. So next time you ask if someone is right for you, pause and first ask, am I the right one for myself? Because when you are, the right person won't need to be searched for. They will recognize you just as clearly as you recognize them. If you feel you haven't found that person yet, don't see it as a problem. See it as an opportunity. An opportunity to strengthen the most important relationship you will ever have, the one with yourself. This is your chance to become your most authentic self, to release what no longer serves you, and to open up to what you truly deserve. When that person arrives, you will know. There will be no anxiety or lingering doubts. You won't have to force anything. The connection will feel natural and effortless, like coming home amidst life's chaos. You will have found a space where you can simply be. That in its purest form is love. If this message resonates with you, or if you see your own story here, please share your experience in the comments. Have you found that person, or are you still discovering yourself? Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today, and if you know someone who needs this message, please share this video. Help me reach more people who need to understand that true love is not about suffering, that healthy relationships don't demand impossible sacrifices, and that the most vital connection we can nurture is the one with ourselves. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss future videos. Here, we explore the depths of the human mind, the power of the unconscious, and how our relationships mirror our personal growth. If there's a topic you want me to cover, let me know in the comments. Your voice is a vital part of this community. Thank you for being here, for sharing this journey of self-discovery, and for being part of a space where growth, reflection, and transformation take center stage. Remember, when the right person comes along, you will know. But before that, make sure you have already found yourself. See you in the next video.